With Rob Lewis, Brent Hubbs, VolQuest.com. Tennessee a winner over Georgia tonight, 89-81. A quick fast break recap of this game. And Rob, them Tennessee was in control. And then the last 11 minutes got outscored by 15 points. I'm sure that's all Rick Barnes is going to talk about, with the post-game stuff. But overall, your thoughts on what Tennessee got done or didn't get done down the stretch, but what they got done overall?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, that's all the head coach is going to want to talk about is, letting a 23-point lead kind of dwindle down to 7 and it was really a result of bad defense because Tennessee scored 45 points in the second half, but they really broke down defensively in the second half. But overall, I mean, Georgia's not a good defensive team. In fact, they're one of the worst in the league. But still, I mean, for a Tennessee team that, it's not been that long since they scored 49 at Florida, scored 50 at Ole Miss, for them to go 80-plus in back-to-back games, I mean, to me, that's the story and also how they did it. I mean, even though on Monday Rick said, no, we're not going to really change what we do, looks like they're changing what they do. I mean, Fulkerson takes 3 shots tonight. Keion and Jaden take 22 shots tonight. Springer was fantastic, 30 points, so in control. Just, didn't force anything. It was a 4 or 5 for 3-point range. Rick can say what he wants. I mean, it looks like the freshmen are taking over, and it looks to me like Fulke's relieved.
Yeah, I mean, he rebounded the ball pretty well. He just does not look to be assertive and did not look offensively to feel any kind of pressure. And the thing about Springer, and we'll talk about Keion as well, but the thing about Springer is it's been a while since Tennessee's had somebody that can really score from anywhere on the floor. I know Grant made some threes, Admiral made some threes, but I mean, to me, Springer can post you up. He can drive on anybody that he wants to. He is a unique player and a guy who has a great feel for his offensive game because nothing feels forced at any point in time when you watch him play.
Yeah, very mature game for a freshman. I mean, really, that to me is what jumps out. And in addition to being able to score at all 3 levels, also a really good distributor. I mean, he didn't do a lot of that tonight, but the most impressive thing about what you're saying, Hubbard, he got 30 points on 11 shots. So, I mean, that's tough to do. Very tough to do. And, man, I hadn't even mentioned Josiah. I thought Josiah was great, and I don't know that I've ever seen him hunt his offense like he did tonight. I mean, usually if he scored, in double digits, he's hit a few threes, which he did tonight, but 18 points. And, I mean, he put the ball – I can vividly remember 4 times where he put the ball on the floor and either got all the way to the rim or pulled up for, a short jumper and jumped over somebody. And that's typically not what we've seen him do.
Yeah, back-to-back really good games. I thought he was terrific at Kentucky. I thought he was good again tonight. There's no Pons in this game because the knee. We'll find out kind of how severe that is moving forward. Still, though, this small ball lineup is who this team is, and I think it's who they have to be the rest of the way, isn't it? I mean, they're just small ball and take their chances.
I mean, you put up 80. I mean, again, Georgia's not good on defense, but, Kentucky can hold as bad as they are. I mean, they can hold some team down. 82 points, 89 points for a team that, 8 days ago scored 50 at Ole Miss. I mean, to me, yeah, you play small. And, ironically with Pons, I mean, when you put James in the starting lineup instead of him, you get better as a rebounding team. If you just go by the numbers. I mean, you definitely lose a dynamic defender. I'm not trying to say that, but it's, to me, yes, you play small.
Keion Johnson obviously made SportsCenter with a dunk that everybody's going to talk about. Again, he's hunting offense in a different way than he was hunting offense 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 12 days ago. It just feels like that he is ultimately going to end up being the guy that they draw something up for if they have to make a play down the stretch.
I think it's him and Springer together in a tandem. I mean, one posting up, one on the wing, and running some action that way, or maybe one of them ball screening for the other and then rolling to the hoop. But I think we're clearly seeing this team evolve to where those are the 2 best offensive players. Those are the guys that you're going to play through in crunch time.
How good was the dunk?
I wrote in the quick takes. It may be the best one I've seen from a Tennessee player in 20 years of doing this. The only one that springs to mind, and I've forgotten a lot, but the only one that springs to mind is close, is when Tyler Smith punched it on the big 7-footer for Arkansas, Stephen Hill, in the SEC tournament in the tornado year. And ironically, that one was played in front of a couple hundred fans at Georgia Tech after they moved it, and this one was played in front of a couple hundred fans because of COVID. Otherwise, the one tonight blows the roof off this place.
Yeah, it's that was as contested of a dunk, as good of a contested dunk as I would say. I know Admiral had one in the SEC tournament against Mississippi State that was pretty nasty. Jordan Bowden had a great one on an inbounds play, but he wasn't contested there. But that one was really pretty special tonight for sure. Now let's talk about down the stretch. Turnovers, Tennessee struggling with the press a little bit. How big of a concern is that for this team in terms of ball handling ability?
I think the turnovers are a concern because they're all over the board. I mean, if you just look at the raw numbers, Tennessee is the best turnover margin in the SEC. But, they're not consistent with it. I mean, they may have 6 one night, and then they may have 18 like they did tonight. So, I mean, getting some consistency there, I mean, that kept Georgia in the game. I mean, Tennessee's up by 23 and just can't get out of their own way in the last 10 minutes or so. But to me, I mean, without a doubt, turnovers, it's the wild swings that I think are driving Coach Barnes crazy. And that, the team that leads the league in that department can still go out and cough it up 18 times on a night.
Yeah, and Vescovi had 5 tonight on a night that he scores 19 points, but his 5 were just ugly. You know what I mean? They weren't strip drives to the basket. They were just an open space, just really bad turnovers, really unforced errors.
And they have one of these every game where somebody, usually Vescovi, tries to make an over the top length of the court pass after a rebound that just has is about as low a percentage play as there is a basketball. And and those drive Rick bananas.
Well, there's a lot of good for Tennessee tonight, and I think Ron Slay said it best on Twitter. It's a good win. You take the win. You had some highlight moments. You did some good things. Freshmen are coming on. There's plenty to turn the tape on and learn about. So it'll be an uglier film session than it looked like it was going to be about an hour and 20 minutes ago. That's for sure. But there'll be plenty of lessons to learn from this game. But also a solid win for Tennessee as they continue to ramp up their offense with this fast break unit that they've got as they beat Georgia 89-81. That's going to do it for this edition of the Fast Break. For Rob Lewis, I'm Brett Hubbs, VolQuest.com.